Alright guys, today I just got a little, like a rant that I wanted to get off my chest that I've been thinking about for a couple of weeks, really ever since the solar eclipse happened. If you didn't see the video I posted a time lapse. I posted kind of just a real-time shot of my family down there watching it, experiencing the 2 minutes of totality. And throughout that weekend prior to the eclipse, it really made me think about like what sort of lengths people will go to when they really want something. And it made me, I always connect things from gym life or work life and personal life, because you start to see patterns in different places and you start to understand like how they all, lessons you learn in one area of life can play into another area. And I was thinking about people I've talked to in the gym who say, I really want to be able to do a pull-up, right? I really want to. But when they say, do you really want to? I don't feel it. I don't feel like there's really that commitment. And the same sort of thing happened with the eclipse. As I talked to some people who live up here in Des Moines or at work, and were like, well, I really wanted to see the eclipse, but it was cloudy that day here, so what are you gonna do? I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna do what my family did, watching the weather all weekend, checking in Nebraska, in Missouri, in St. Louis, and where did we end up going? We went all the way to southern Illinois. And how did we get there? We had booked Airbnbs in Nebraska that we were intermittently gonna have to cancel if we decided not to go that way. We had texted a friend that we had that lived in St. Louis and said, hey, can we come stay with you tonight, like last minute? And thankfully they said yes. And so we drove down there Sunday evening. Even while we're there, we're still watching the weather. My father-in-law ahead of time had practiced actually building kind of a telescope setup. I'll insert a clip of it here that allows him to magnify the eclipse so that all of us could see it and really watch the progress of the eclipse without all having to have solar glasses on all the time. And that was a huge hit with all the people in the park where we actually ended up watching it. And then even after driving about 5.5 hours to St. Louis, then we drove another 2+ hours into Illinois on Monday morning until we finally got to a point where we were able to say, hey, we got clear skies here. This is going to give us a great view. And the result of all that dedication and research and action, and that's a big one, is you have to take action, was we got to experience one of the most spectacular, incredible sights I've probably ever seen in my entire life. And if you really want something like deep within you, and say like, I honestly want a pull-up, or want to learn this skill, or want to be able to lift this amount of weight or whatever in the gym, you have to be willing to put forth that same amount of commitment. You have to say, here's what I got to do to it. I need to research a program or accessory lifts, or I need to actionably get into the gym every single day and put in that work that will translate and get me one step closer to my goal every day. Because then I guarantee you'll get that pull-up. I saw my wife do it. She said she kind of wanted to pull up and was battling with it around the time of the Open earlier this year. Wasn't able to get a strict pull-up or even a kip and pull-up in time to get it during the Open, but that motivated her enough that she said, Aaron, I want you to get a pull-up bar to put in our bathroom door, so every time I'm walking around I can hang from it, I can do negatives, I can do kind of as much of a pull-up as I can. And literally it was like a matter of a couple of weeks, and then she had strict pull-up, both chin up, pull-up. She was even knocking out multiple reps, and it was just because of that change in mindset and the actionable steps, because she went from kind of sort of wanting it, to the open kicked her into that, like, I honestly want this to happen. And I've been there too, where my first year in the open, I thought it would be really cool to be able to do a muscle up, and I had been working on those progressions and all that kind of stuff, but only kind of like half-heartedly. And then it came up in the open, and a couple other guys in our gym who were of similar strength levels of me got their first muscle ups. And so I went in a couple extra days, spent some extra time with the coach, really working on various positional work, working on those ring dips, bottom of the dip holds, pause dips, false grip pulls, and ended up getting my first muscle up. That's what it takes, is you have to really want it, like, and be willing to make those sacrifices, put in that extra effort, as opposed to just saying, well, I really want it, and you only kind of sort of want it. So that's my challenge to you today. If there's something that is on your list of things you want to attack, a movement that you want to learn, anything along those lines, my challenge to you is, instead of just saying like, hey, it would be nice to have this skill, but I'll get it when I get it, I want you to look at that, start to write down actionable items that you can work on, progressions that you can start attacking, and a timeline as to like, hey, I'm gonna work on this at least every other day or every day, or whatever's appropriate for that skill. So get out there, put in that work, and my social media accounts are linked down below. And whatever that skill is, when you get it or when you're starting to put out work, tag me in a video, shout at me. I would love to follow you and support you through that journey. So just go on, check it out. I'm really active on Instagram, Twitter here and there, but Instagram's probably the place I'm most active at. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing all you guys crushing those skills in the future.